there is always the risk that something happens to a U.S. soldier that sparks more conflict. And I do worry that might get blamed on Hamas, but I think I'm almost more worried that it might get blamed on Iran, on Hezbollah, because that is the war that Bibi has really wanted.
So we're talking about the peace deal. I'm here with Ian Carroll. We're talking about the peace deal that, or the ceasefire and the peace deal to come. And part of it is Trump is sending 200 U.S. troops to Israel to support and monitor a Gaza ceasefire. And what do you think? What do you think is more likely, that the U.S. soldier would shoot an IDF soldier, or vice versa? And then blame it on Hamas, right? And so then we got to go to war, and so the U.S. is sending 200 troops to Israel the officials said that the U.S. troops are being deployed as part of a team that will include partner nations, NGOs, and other private companies. U.S. Central Command will establish a civil military coordination center that will help ensure the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza and provide logistical and security assistance. One of the officials said that no U.S. troops will be sent to Gaza. However, according to a report from Middle East Eye, Egypt has informed the U.S. that it wants U.S. military personnel to be part of the peacekeeping force that is expected to be established by the Gaza ceasefire deal. A second U.S. official told the AP that U.S. troops have already started arriving in Israel to establish the ceasefire coordination center. Another official said that some of them are coming from CENTCOM, while others are heading to Israel from other parts of the globe, although White House Press Secretary Leavitt later said the troops are already stationed in the Middle East. Another official said that some of them are coming from CENTCOM, while others are heading to Israel for... that's twice. Okay. The U.S. already has at least 100 troops inside Israel to operate the 2 THAAD missile interceptors that the U.S. has deployed to Israel. Brown University's Cost of War Project said in a report issued on Tuesday that the U.S. has spent between $30 and $33 billion on support. We don't need that money in the United States. On supporting Israel since October 7, 2023, a number that includes direct military aid and U.S. military operations launched in support of Israel. Do you have any trepidation about Trump sending even more troops to the Israel-Palestine conflict?
Absolutely, Jimmy. Obviously you're right on point here. And that there is always the risk that something happens to a U.S. soldier that sparks more conflict. And I do worry that might get blamed on Hamas, but I think I'm almost more worried that it might get blamed on Iran, on Hezbollah, because that is the war that Bibi has really wanted. It's the last war on the clean break. It's the last big piece of the Greater Israel Project that Bibi and his factions have not indicated at all that they've abandoned. And so I think that there's fortunately a lot of, powers that are pushing for this plan, and I think it's profit. I don't think it's like out of the goodness of the heart of all these guys that they're, trying to get this peace deal through. I think they're trying to make a lot of money. But I worry that with Bibi and his far right government in power, they're not about to abandon the Greater Israel Project, and they have said openly many times the kinds of things that they would do to get that done. And I am very worried about having American troops on the ground, because it opens up all sorts of false flag and confusing friendly fire situations or what have you that might crack things into a whole nother direction.
So Israel is known for false flags. Israel, when they were trying to get Jewish people to leave Iran, bombed Jewish communities. This is this is factual record. It's historical record. This isn't a conspiracy theory that they bombed their own Jewish communities inside Iran to try to pressure, and blamed it on the Arabs, and then to try to pressure them to move to Israel. So they're the king of the false flags, right? And so when they attacked the USS Liberty, that was to try to bring the United States into the war with Egypt. This is their modus operandi, and it's almost certain there will be an attack on U.S. soldiers, and they will blame it on Iran or Hamas, and to draw the United States even further. So that's why I think they're agreeing to this, because they feel that they might be able to pull off a false flag and drag the United States deeper into this conflict if they could, and that would help turn, because America has turned against Israel and for the Palestinians, and that could maybe help turn America back against the Palestinians and for Israel. I think it's a big mistake for Trump to do this.
I agree. I think that it's possible that the Gulf states might have made it a mandatory factor in the deal. Yeah. I would understand from their perspective that they want America to have skin in the game as well, but it opens up all these other possibilities that are really, really dark. But I would also hope, and that we're about to be talking about the Charlie Kirk situation too. Max Blumenthal's reporting for the Gray Zone about the Trump administration's fear and frustration with the Israeli government and Benjamin Netanyahu does give me a little bit of hope that Trump's government is wisening up to the way the Israelis do business and to the way that Israeli intelligence operates and how effective they are. And that I would hope that if something were to go down, Trump, or at least people around Trump, are smart enough to look a little closer and hopefully get to the bottom of whatever might happen. Because if they were to try something like that and be found out, that would be a whole different story as far as moving forward. So
I agree. If they got, but the hard part is getting them found out, because they
exactly.
Yeah, they still don't. The United States still doesn't admit that Israel attacked the USS Liberty when everybody knows they did, including on purpose. So they thought it was an oopsie. Of course, it wasn't. And Lyndon Johnson was complicit in that.
Lyndon Johnson was complicit in a lot of things on behalf of Israel.
That definitely. Well, he didn't want to get JFK'd, so you can't. You kind of can't blame him in that regard. October 19th will be in Irvine, California. We'll be in Australia. Then we'll be in Burbank, California the day after Thanksgiving. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.